Hello, welcome to Advanced Programming for Business Analytics. This video recorded some demonstrations I did in class of week 3, spring 2020. In the first part, I was talking about the for loop in Python, and I was writing on the whiteboard. Module 2 is basic Python programming. One part of it is loop, and you probably will use it sometimes down the road. For every language has a loop, and it works out somehow differently. The Python's loop, especially the for loop, is quite intuitive, very intuitive, easy to work with, and involves a little bit of a different mentality than other like Java or C++. And here's what the C++ typically is. Let's say you have a counter, you have I, and you want to iterate through beginning from 0 to like 10, let's see. So, and you want to make use of the I as it, iterate through it. For C++, something like that. You have a for, and you have an iterator set up here, and you have a bunch of codes. Do something. And within this, you always have 3 parameters you have to specify. The counter and the type you have to declare. It's starting point, end point, and increment. I think that's the grammar. So that's C++. Now you declare. Let's see. So you declare how the counter changes by the steps in beginning and end. In Python, it's usually you can make it very short, very efficient, and it's Python mechanism is always that you iterate something through the items of a iterable. So instead of defining a range to iterate through for whatever the counter, you always have an in. So inside a collection of things, you iterate through that, and the pointer will be equal to every element in the sequence. So what do you do? How do you program here to be the same as in the C++ example above? You have to define a collection of things that together is exclusive of all the elements above, right? And typically this is highly predictable pattern. It's increment by 1, beginning from 0 to 10. And in the above example, 10 is included, but here, well, let's see. Typically, to do that, you would use range function, and the number inside will dictate the number of elements. Typically, if you assume an increment of 1, then range 10 means from 0 to 9. It ends with 9. 9 is the last item. 10 is not included because 0 is included. In total, 10 elements in this range. This is an iterable. And the default is beginning with 0 and increment by 1. The defaults are skipped by default, and those are the default. So so the mentality is you always have a collection of things to iterate through. And for a lot of programming, it is actually easier to do this because every time you don't have to think about how to use the pointer to point to the index and to select whatever value you want. But here element every time, and you can simply use it to do whatever you want. Any questions about that? And how to work with the strings. Strings are very powerful. Here, for this class, we won't be doing a lot of strings. Some of them are quite advanced, but strings opens up regular expressions and a lot of powerful things. And in the messy data analytics world out there, there may be projects that you'll deal with a lot of strings, and by then you'll explore more. Here limited, but show you a few things that you can do. I think I should turn
Now
this
I
on.
started explaining a trick with string variables. See. So how to turn on your, so go ahead and launch your Jupyter and be ready. So in Jupyter Notebook, it's a powerful notebook for programming, and you have the markdown cell that you can do a lot of formatting, and you can change, quickly change the size of the font, and you can use headings. I don't know if you had the opportunity to explore it. One hashtag comes out the biggest, heading, and when you run the cell, it becomes a text file, which is not a code cell. It won't run. It's for notations and formatting. And whenever you have a in square bracket, it is a cell, the code cell that you can run. All right, strings. When you want to join two strings, you can add them together and assign it to a new string. But when you have a list of strings, something like that, and follow some, or it's the words of a sentence, and you want to join them, become a sentence. So you need a space between every element, every word of this list of strings. How do you do that? It's a very quick way. You can hard code, which is never good. You can use a loop, which is not the best. What can you do? String has a method, string.join, which works very well. And so in here, you want something that comes between each element to join every element of the string. So it starts with that delimiter that you want to put. So it's a space. Space, with a quotation, it's a string. It has a method. Any string has this method, and you put the list in it, and it becomes a sentence. Let me demo that. Let's see. So it's a list. Can you see it? Is it too small, too faint?
It's a little small.
It's a little small. Let me turn off the front line. Maybe that's the best. How's that work? It's a little better. Brett?
Yeah.
Great. So I want to make a sentence. So you have a space. You can do tab completion when you have the system set up healthfully. After each dot, if the instance is recognized, you hit tab, you should see a list of reminded functions and features available to that. And as you type join, it jumps up as an option. And so I'm using the space to join the whole list and look, and it will return whatever is the outcome string. I love Python. So, you know, that's a quick and neat way to join a long list of strings. Any questions?
So does it just put the space in between the separate items, or is there a space afterwards also? I can't tell.
Just in between. Yeah. Yeah. Good? Materials. And anonymous functions. Okay. So let me talk a little bit about anonymous functions. If you have the module 2.2 and go to the very last, the bottom section, anonymous functions. Who else has a question about anonymous function? It's lambda function. Lambda function or anonymous function. It's quite powerful if, you know, for various miscellaneous reasons. You know, when you clean a data set, when there's a pattern to, you know, a large bunch of data that spread out in the data frame, you can quickly use that function to give you a quick trick on the pattern. Under anonymous function, in the example that I showed, lambda function, can you tell me what the result is here? I calculate the sum of the result is 2. But can you tell me what the result object is here? If you were to print out the result, what is it?
True and false.
It's not.
True and false.
So true or false? So it's a scalar, like a single item object.
It's a list of true and false.
It's a list of true and false. Yes. So it compares each element, the first 2 letters of each element of the list product ID, with the first 2 elements, with the first 2 letters of compared PID, and if it's the same, if they are the same, it's true. If they are not the same, it's false. So there are 2 matches here that will sum to 2. So that's the deal. If you have any questions after the class, you can let me know. Exception handling. I don't expect you to use a lot of exception handling. It's fine if your code breaks down. That's fine. You just have to understand why it breaks down. You know, we're not programming anything in scale. By the end of the semester, in your project, you might want to use a little bit of exception handle, because over there things can be messy, and you know, you don't want your code to be clustered with all the exceptions. But and once something falls down in the middle, everything after it will kind of break. So you want to somehow think of the unexpected. But in the beginning stage, you don't have to be worried about that. There may be a test question about that, but when you program your homeworks, you don't have to use that exception handling.